Hi there, I'm Eddie Matthews, General Manager with the Stratford and District Chamber of Commerce, and today we're profiling the University of Waterloo and how UW can assist with employers who are struggling to move their business to a virtual platform. Joining us today is Ross Johnson, Executive Director, Co-operative Education. Through his leadership, Co-operative Education has relationships now with more than 7,000 organizations across 60 countries and over 23,000 students at the University of Waterloo. Margaret Johnston works with prospective employers new to UWaterloo Co-op in Stratford and the surrounding area. She works with business to uncover their recruitment needs and works closely with account manager Kerry Lazenby to provide seamless support to employers. And Kerry, by the way, collaborates with the University of Waterloo's employment partners in Stratford and surrounding area. Her goal is to ensure organizations are successful in hiring co-op students to create a solid talent pipeline for their future. It's nice to be able to speak to all of you. Very timely issues is what we want to talk about this afternoon. Ross, we'll start with you. And you know, with so many organizations introducing a new digital element to their business, can the University of Waterloo work with employers who are struggling to move to their business to a virtual platform, and how exactly can that happen, Ross?
Great question, Eddie. I think one of the things that we're grateful for at the University of Waterloo is that we work with talented students, and they're available to help transition businesses to a digital landscape. You know, you're talking about a generation that was virtually born with a tablet or a mobile device in their hands. So they're used to operating in that world. They're trained in skill sets as well, needed to support at this crucial time to shift the workforce into that digital dimension. One thing that COVID has really accelerated is the need for us to create a digital skills fundamental program, which is what we've done. And that features 6 online mini course bundles to help students equip themselves to succeed in the digital landscape and in turn support those businesses that they're working with. Participants develop foundational knowledge for more advanced or independent learning and receive resources to support further skills for their development. So, you know, it positions them really well to support those businesses during this time of need.
Yeah, and just
Marg, I don't know go ahead.
Yeah,
Go
these
ahead.
6 courses, they were developed through the Stratford School of Interaction and Design, along with the Problem Lab based on the Waterloo campus, and our community partners, Vidyard, Shopify, and Kite Academy. So it gives students a good introduction to digital marketing, web design, video marketing, e-commerce, and sales skills. And you know, these are the skills that are really needed right now. And your local businesses could likely use these. We know that the shopstratford.ca website just launched. So this would be great for students to assist with getting those businesses on that site, as well as we've heard that the city of Stratford has teamed up with the Digital Main Street initiative. We actually have students in other cities right now working on that initiative. And they're set up in teams generally and hired in roles such as like copywriters, graphic designers, web developers, and then are assigned businesses to help them get their businesses online. And it's been really successful to date. It's anything from getting an e-commerce platform for a pizza store to creating a virtual escape room. So it's really a win-win situation for both employers and our students.
Yeah. You know, you bring up such a good point, because I've expressed my keen interest for many businesses, because even before COVID, many really didn't have a platform that they would consider using. When you think 3, even 5 years ago, people weren't using online as they need to do so now. Margaret, we'll throw this question at you. What does the remote workplace look like since COVID changed the workplace landscape?
Yeah, that's a great question. So since COVID hit in March, most of our students moved into remote work terms where they were working from their homes. Though some work terms are on site as well with COVID protocols in place. All of our workplaces have really evolved since then with lots of changes to our technology. We've moved from the boardroom to the Zoom room as we're using today, or Microsoft Teams for our meetings. Our students tend to be particularly adept at the use of remote technology, which actually has been a real bonus for employers during COVID. We know that employers are looking to hire students with skill, agility, and transferability in those jobs. These attributes are really needed and are sought after in the new reality of remote work life. And at Waterloo, we're in a unique position as the home of the Work Learn Institute. It's the only research center of its kind in the world. And they're doing work to study current and future workforce trends. And a major part of that research centers around learning more about remote work and how we're doing it. And I think that Ross is going to expand on that.
Yeah, thanks, Marg.
Ross, go ahead.
I would just add that, you know, Marg mentioned we're grateful to have the Work Learn Institute, and they are really a research hub, and they've done research on the key things that focus on when hiring and mentoring young talent remotely, you know, what's the sort of things that's going to be successful. And some of the things they've come up with is, you know, finding ways to help support students learn and to contribute to your organization by offering strong support systems. So things like time to work independently and with colleagues and supervisors, you know, create that valid structure around enabling that to happen. The other thing would be to hire candidates with skills that support remote work. So thinking about communication and the differences that, you know, that remote work drives into that space. The ability for self-direction, adaptability and flexibility, critical thinking, time management, and initiative. These are all key components that you're looking for the individual to be successful to support you. Shorter term, I think things like considering offering informal check-ins with students and to help them to work from their home setup and to get set up appropriately. And longer term, to look to assess flexibility. So, you know, in terms of adaptability, evaluate their self-direction, their learning potential, and enable them to build connections and commitment to the business. An example I could share would be the Royal Bank of Canada. You know, this is a large organization, so it's like trying to turn a big tanker in the water, and that doesn't happen very quickly. But what RBC did was able to turn extremely quickly in how they enabled and supported the students that they hired. They spent quite a bit of time pre-planning all of the onboarding and touch points that the students would need. So things like they created a pre-start date for students so they could connect earlier. They talked about what support was required for that first day so that it was a successful experience, and what that first week would look like, the first month, the second month, third month, and so forth. And then they also considered what offboarding would look like. So that key piece in any sort of co-op pedagogy around reflection. And they engaged with students as well in clearly defining that structured ways. So they integrated things like 10,000 coffees. So this is an opportunity for students to network and to connect with executives and senior management and staff just around experiences that they have or tips to be successful, that key mentorship component for the future. They also created a student cafe, which included things like office hours, again, enabling that potential structure, targeted introductions to people that would be enablers for the work that they would be doing. And also just the ability for those water cooler moments. You know, how much business is done over the water cooler? Well, they created the virtual space to enable that to happen.
You know, you touched on something, and I'll throw this question out. Maybe Kerry or Margaret could answer it for me. You know, for the smaller organizations that don't have a full HR team, this just seems like a win-win situation for the students and for the small business to kind of team up together. Can you see that analogy being used?
For sure. We have a lot of support at the university with over 160 people in our department to help students and employers through the whole co-op process. It's definitely a team effort. Every organization, when they come on board with the University of Waterloo to recruit, they're assigned a service team. I'm an account manager, for example, so account managers can help companies create job descriptions, make recommendations on the types of students to target, and with longer term recruitment strategies as well, whether it's getting their brand on campus or anything else, other connections they'd like to have with the university. Also account coordinators who are vital to help our employers walk through our recruitment process to help them do interview scheduling and submit offers. Once a student's actually employed, we have student advisors who connect with the supervisors and students to make sure the work term is going successfully. And besides this, the staff support, of course, we have a ton of online resources for employers. So if they're looking for sample job descriptions or interview questions or tips for managing students remotely, the Work Learn Institute and other members of our marketing team have been instrumental in really making that website robust with information. So it's a really good resource as well. We often hold webinars for employers, and it's typically based on research that's been done in experiential learning, and we have a huge sample set, so it's perfect setting for research on this topic. And we often hold webinars, and if any of your businesses are interested, they should follow us on LinkedIn, because we're often advertising free webinars for employers to help them manage this future talent.
Margaret, given the uncertainty in the world right now and the transition to a digital workplace, how is the university, how is UW preparing students for careers once they graduate?
Yeah, that's such a great question. Thanks, Eddie. Well, I really believe that the University of Waterloo's co-op and work integrated learning programs are a great way to prepare students for their careers once they graduate. Our students that are in co-op, for example, are graduating with up to 2 years of work experience related to their field of study. And co-op is a really intentional program. Its basis is in pedagogy. So while students are on their co-op work terms, students are integrating their classroom learnings into the workplace. And in class, they're integrating their work term knowledge into what they're learning in class. So, students complete work term reports where they use their critical thinking and reasoning skills to consider such things as, how did I add value to this organization while I was on my work term? Or was there a particular issue I helped solve? Or perhaps was there something that I could not solve? Sometimes we learn best at things that we aren't able to solve. Critical reasoning is integral to their learnings, and this reflection really helps build their skills for future work. So in addition to the work term reports, many students also take our WAT PD courses or Waterloo Professional Development. These courses really help build further skills and competencies directly related to the work world. And frankly, these are things that they're learning in these courses that aren't taught anywhere else. They're not taught in high school or elsewhere. So really, really great learnings for them. As well, we have the Center for Career Action, which offers career education services, programming and resources, including career management techniques, educational planning, job search strategies, and meaningful goal setting. So our students are graduating with great skills learned while in school and are very well prepared for the work world upon graduation. And I think that Ross has some comments on that as well.
Yeah, I'd just like to add, thanks, Margaret. I'd just like to add that, preparing our communities for the shift that's happening in the workforce is critical to harnessing everyone's potential. We've established what we're calling the Future Ready Talent Framework, or FRTF. It's a research-backed tool, again, through the Work Learn Institute, to help students and employers understand the key competencies that they may need to navigate the future of work and learning, particularly as it evolves so rapidly. This framework's designed to help students understand how to build adaptability and resilience as they face these complex challenges. And an example of the sort of Future Ready Talent Framework skill sets include things like expanding and transferring expertise. So, for example, things like discipline, context-specific skills, information, data literacy, technology agility. Another skill set is to develop one's self, so self-management, self-assessment, lifelong learning, self-reflection, and career development. Then we have building relationships, and that includes things like we touched on earlier: communication, collaboration, intercultural effectiveness, something that's vital in the modern workforce. And finally, design and delivering solutions. So that innovation mindset that particularly UW is known for, that critical thinking, and above all, implementation. So it's one thing to think about it, it's another thing to actually make it happen.
Yeah, there's so, you know what, there's so much information there. It's almost overwhelming. Kerry, we'll give you the final word, because if anyone that's watching right now would like some information about how University of Waterloo can assist business during COVID, what's the best way of contacting you? Is it just Googling University of Waterloo, and then what should they be looking for?
Sure, they can do that, and they'll get to our Hire Waterloo website. They can also email hire.talent@uwaterloo.ca, or better yet, they can just call myself directly or Marg, and we'd be happy to connect with them to learn more about their business and how we can assist them.
Okay, just Google University of Waterloo and follow the pathway, correct?
That's right. Big hits on that one.
Yeah. Yeah, good stuff. Hey, Ross, Mark, Kerry, thank you so much for your time today. We're going to have a few more of these sessions going on, so please watch for these. I'm Eddie Matthews from the Stratford and District Chamber of Commerce. Thank you so much for watching today.